There are a slew of polls, including swing state polls, where he's leading Donald Trump. And frankly, there is this denialism about what the last elections have said. Democrats won in 2020. Joe Biden did that by millions of votes on top of it, and the electoral
by suppressing a laptop. And
oh my God! You think that
the election.
Hunter Biden's penis pictures were going to sway this? It's
got him. We fucking got him.
I do know that the country looks a hell of a lot better than it did on January 6th, and I do know from what.
Honestly,
what?
I don't know.
What?
I mean,
really?
There's been
better. What's better? What is better? The economy is better. Crime and safety is better.
Now, I'm going to quote tweet myself from earlier in the week, but the point still remains. I don't know how she stomachs the endless diatribe around her, but I'm glad that she does, because whether you like it or not, Fox News continues to be the most watched cable news network in America, which makes someone like Jessica Tarlov crucial in helping preserve democracy in 2024.
About the economy, sir, what's your outlook on the economy next year?
All good. Take a look. Start reporting it the right way.
You know, I hope he believes it. I hope he believes it so he kind of rests on his laurels, doesn't campaign too hard, although he did become president from a basement. But I don't want him to take it too seriously because I don't think he can fix it.
We do have good economic news, but the media doesn't want to cover it. He is correct that we got revised third quarter GDP growth up to 4.9%. Unheard of. Consumer confidence went up 14%, largest jump in a decade. Personal income's up. Grocery and energy prices down last month. Democrats, make your case. There is a case to be made.
Oh, that's gotta hurt! Now, what seems to have happened is Fox producers have had to recycle their co-hosts alongside the Liberal commentator after she discarded with those forced to hear about those pesky facts on the economy earlier in the week, and brought in a new band of delusionists. See Exhibit A, for example.
So I didn't fall for the COVID psyop. I also didn't fall for the BLM thing.
But in Colorado, they did have a 5-day bench trial where evidence was presented from both sides, and Trump's people had the chance to do it, and they found that he did engage in an insurrection. And if you look at what, it's true, right?
There's no insurrection.
Okay, you're right. There's a bunch of people with zip ties just hanging out. Okay, so...
And as the conversation pivoted to the job the current administration has done to steady the sinking ship they inherited, Tarlov did her best again to outline the clear difference amidst the incoherent ramblings around them.
Then it gets kicked up to the Supreme Court. And if you look at the opinions from all 7 justices, the 4 who voted to take him off the ballot and the 3 who didn't, no one refutes the fact that he engaged in an insurrection. There's a difference of opinion of whether he should be able to stay on the ballot or not. That is different than one person. And this is how the procedure works in Maine. She didn't break the law by doing this. I think it's a faulty procedure. But that's a very different thing from it going through a bench trial and the Colorado Supreme Court. And it should be noted as well that in the majority opinion, they cited Neil Gorsuch himself when he was on the Court of Appeals because he's ruled before that a state can remove someone who has engaged in this.
Jessica, what about the can take people off the ballot?
Said no. Right? California had the opportunity to do it, and they said no. But I do know that the country looks a hell of a lot better than it did on January 6th. And I do know from what...
Honestly, I don't know.
What?
I mean,
really?
There's been so much
Have you seen the footage?
Have you seen the border? Have you seen gas prices? Have you seen inflation?
And
have you seen schools?
And yes,
There is a precipitous
quality of life.
What is better? What's better?
What is better? The economy is better. Crime and safety is better. The border is not better.
But is that why he's polling at like 12% on the economy?
He's not polling at 12%. If you go and look at the Real Clear Politics average or the 538 average, you see that Joe Biden is around 2 points down in the averages there. There are a slew of polls, including swing state polls, where he's leading Donald Trump. And frankly, there is this denialism about what the last elections have said. Democrats won in 2020. Joe Biden did that by millions of votes on top of it, and the electoral.
By suppressing a laptop.
Oh my God! You think that Hunter Biden's penis pictures were going to sway this? It's unbelievable.
This wasn't about penis pictures. This wasn't about penis pictures.
Well, then I don't want to see any more penis pictures or crap.
Well, hopefully we won't. And Hunter Biden's laptop is wrapped up.
And this is what happens when a network is founded on the principles of inflammatory entertainment. Anything goes. Say what you want, just as long as you sound convincing while spewing it.
In the border, have you seen gas prices? Have you seen
gas prices? Who cares if they're plummeting across the country right now, to the point that even conservatives in southern states are making parody videos about how Republicans can no longer complain about gas prices.
Yeah, well, the consumer confidence report is up. We've got lower gasoline prices. We've seen inflation data come down.
229? This is just... Oh, hi. I'm a concerned parent in North Texas, and I don't know if y'all have noticed, but lately these gas prices are getting ridiculous. I mean, every time I go to the pumps lately, I just stare at that total like a calf looking at a new gate. $2.29? This is just unacceptable. How long is the average Republican voter supposed to continue to pretend to be outraged about gas prices when they keep climbing down like this? Look, it was pretty easy for me to ignore when the U.S. hit record levels of oil production a few months ago. I mean, I just yelled, EVs are bad for the environment, every time some woke fact monger objectively reported it. But this week, when the U.S. broke the annual oil production record, gas prices are consistently dropping, and my earthly God, who does not look like this Garfield stuffy from Walmart, ate 3 plates of lasagna and then put on a suit, swore up and down.
Gasoline prices are now $5, $6, $7, and even $8 a gallon.
Almost broke. But then I figured it out. It was so obvious, I was honestly a little embarrassed. An emotion I've never felt before, except once, when I got caught reading a book. I've been lied to. There's only so much misinformation that a free-thinking, independent-minded conservative like myself can take from the devilish Democrats who are colluding with gas stations to put fake prices up on the signs just to make Republicans look like liars.
But as long as hosts splice it in with hyperbole, ad hominem, and a migrant caravan reference, it'll do. Just don't mention Dominion. And while we can all sit here and debate the effectiveness of Tarlov poking holes in the lunacy week after week, there is no getting away from the fact that while Fox continues to garner millions of viewers, she plays a crucial role.
Greg said, everything is terrible. I mean, they released the numbers. Border crossings have plummeted. So we've never seen so many people that are going to be streaming across the border. Where did they all go?
They're just counting
Where's
it
the next caravan?
They're counting it differently.
Like one toe instead of all 10
No, they're
toes?
just counting it differently. It's what they do. They fudge
That's what they do. Everything is
Yeah, you're
the
wrong.
victimization of the perspective of conservatives. Whether it's what's going on with the DOJ and the whistleblowers, we count border crossings differently. We look at the crime statistics. Well, they're measuring it differently.
They did.
It just okay. Anyway, we talked about this last week or the week before about the economic record, and I'm not going to rehash all of it. I am just going to add that this week now, Goldman Sachs and Jim Cramer both saying, clear as day, we're not going to have this recession. It's got people who were fear-mongering about it and are now admitting that we're not going to have it. So we have the lowest inflation and the best GDP growth in the G7. We're not going to have a recession. You have Republicans taking credit for infrastructure projects that they voted against that Biden got for them.
Just this week, the New Republic released an article documenting how Murdoch's largest megaphone has never been more nakedly partisan and will be instrumental in Trump's battle for re-election. It goes on to cite that no matter who the Republicans run, Fox will exist as an open adversary to Joe Biden, basically acting as another opponent to him.
If Joe Biden loaned his son money, that's great, but his son paid it back. If it were a loan, which it wasn't, he paid it back through influence peddling. Joe Biden knew.
Point, given what we're seeing in the courts, at the DOJ, and even in state AG offices, and given Democrats, Trump is Hitler rhetoric, is it not logical, at least to consider, maybe even to assume, that some on the left are hoping to spark some type of civil unrest here, which would be followed, of course, by a mass crackdown on civil liberties, or the declaration of maybe a nationwide emergency, all as a way, a pretextual way, to usher in, I don't know, nationwide mail-in voting.
So no amount of economic growth, record-breaking unemployment, or infrastructure improvement fully penetrates the anti-administration agenda that is on air week after week.
President Biden is here on the world stage representing the American people. Poll after poll after poll find that the American people overwhelmingly worry he might be too old for a second term. We expect a short statement off the top just about how the G20 went in India and how his meetings went here with the Communist Party in Vietnam. And then as many questions as he wants to take. He has been basically working all through the night, the equivalent of an all-nighter Eastern time. So he's probably pretty tired, pretty jet-lagged. But
when you have Jessica Tarlov there to poke holes in the hot air balloon they fill with hate, bigotry, and lies, it's better than not having her there at all.
So much in spending that you cause inflation and then look back and say this was all caused by the Trump tax cuts of 2017. That doesn't make any sense.
So I'll go right to you, Jessica. I mean, didn't Joe Biden go on the biggest spending spree in American history?
No, Donald Trump actually spent a lot more than him. So Donald Trump is personally responsible as the president for about 30% of the national debt. And I believe Joe Biden's brought it down by $1.4 trillion.
Thanks so much for watching. We're only a few subscribers short of 2 million subs. Please subscribe right now to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel for free and help us grow this unapologetically pro-democracy network.